Hey everybody, Chris Truder here, leading communications expert in Japan. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 6. Today is Thursday, July 18th, 8:30 a.m. Japan time. Thank you again for watching my videos. Today I'm going to talk about my English journey. And what it's about actually is how I started this English business called Cranefield Communications. A couple years ago, I left a corporate job to start a medical device consulting business. So I had been in the medical device industry for about 17 years, from 1999 to 2016. So exactly 3 years ago in July, I left a pretty good job. And in the 90s, also in Japan, I taught English for about 10 years. And so anyway, I left this corporate job because I wanted to be my own boss and see if I could create a medical device consulting company. And it was really tough in the beginning. I was trying to help foreign companies, manufacturers of medical devices, helped them to come to Japan, but very competitive market, and I was new and had no credibility. But during that process, a lot of my customers before were Japanese distributors in Japan, and they were having difficulty with English communication. They were importing products from overseas, and even though many people's English was pretty good, there was still a lot of communication issues and problems. So I came up with a subsidiary, another company, in addition to Truder Consulting, called Cranefield Communication. And I'll explain in another video what Cranefield means. But anyway, I was able to get a lot of good clients in the beginning. These were warm leads. This was not cold traffic. I knew these people, I had trust with them, and so I was able to get several clients pretty quickly, teaching them business English within the medical device industry. And I made a website, I made a logo, I made business cards, and the business took off pretty well. It was doing very well. I even got some business coaches. Spent way too much money on that, but it was a good investment. And after about a year, I hit a wall because my system that I was teaching, which I thought was great, I didn't see the students progressing and advancing and improving quick enough. No different than working at or going to a English conversation school in Japan. So I came up with the idea of my English journey. And basically what this is it's not teacher driven. I've talked about this a lot before. It's student driven. And in fact, I send the lessons, so we do prepare lessons, but I send the lessons to the students before the class to present to the teacher, which many times is not me, it's someone else that works for Cranefield Communication. And basically, the teacher's very qualified, but the teacher will come to the class and say, okay, so what are we studying today? So it's very student-driven, and I found that helps with motivation because the English journey, which we call the studying, becomes the students. They take ownership of it. They take responsibility over it. In addition to that, what we do with my English journey to help accelerate or skyrocket the English improvement of the students is we do things that English schools in Japan don't do, and that is we also do a weekly business call. It's only 10 minutes, but And again, the student has to schedule the call. So I have an online scheduling system the student uses. And during that 10-minute business call, I'll ask them what did they learn, what were their goals and objectives were for this week. So it really helps them with their listening, and they have to ask questions. So for example, on a business call, I'll ask, do you have any questions? And usually the students will always say, no, I don't. I say, what? Prepare questions. This is your one of your only chances to speak English this week with a native speaker, so take advantage of it. Another thing I found with students is usually when they start and they do their first business call, I can tell they're in a meeting room, or they're outside, and I say, where are you? Oh, I'm in a meeting room. And I explain to them, no, the whole purpose of the business call is to call you at your desk. We're simulating a real life conversation, and usually the students will respond, oh, well, it's embarrassing, or I don't want to speak English in front of my colleagues. I go, well, that's the point. We have to overcome that fear. So usually for the first couple of times, they're surprised, but they get out of their comfort zone, and then they call, and they're usually talking really softly. But it's good because I can hear chatter in the background, because in Japan, unlike the States, you don't have cubicles in Japan. Your desks are all like next to each other, so you can hear everybody. But that's good. And then it's funny, a lot of times they'll object and say, well, I don't want to bother other people speaking English in front of them. And I say, yes, but when you have a call in Japanese, do you go out of the room? Do you go, reserve a business room? No, I talk at my desk. Well, there you go. Okay. So in addition to the weekly business phone call, well, also every Monday morning I send an email out to all the students. And I give them learning goals for that week. And usually my main goal is always speak English every day, and then make a plan of how to speak English every day. And you'd be surprised how difficult that is. And then I have them report back what are their goals for the week. So there's an email interaction. And then every Friday night, I send a follow-up email. So how was your week? Did you accomplish your English learning goals, etc.? And then in addition to that, in addition to the actual learning in the class, the business phone call, and the weekly emails of accountability, I also set up a private Facebook group for all the students to communicate and chat with each other. I usually upload videos. For example, these videos I'll upload sometimes. I upload podcasts that I create, pronunciation practice. So anyway, and it's also a place for the students to share their experiences with each other. Now, Facebook sometimes is not allowed in a lot of companies. So if you're on the company network, you many times cannot connect to Facebook. And that's okay. So I give another option of Slack. Maybe you've heard of Slack. It's a project management software. They have apps on your phone and PC, desktop applications as well. So I set up a private group for all the students. And so if I have a company with several classes, then I'll create several different channels, which basically is the class, the separate classes. And that's where I can upload, again, videos, podcasts, lessons. And again, it's to replicate this immersion experience, to be speaking English every day, to be listening, to be reading, and in addition to that, we require the students to journal. And we just, Cranefield Communication has just finished making its first textbook for beginner level. It hasn't been published yet, so it's out to be printed. But in the comments section below, after this video, I'll post the cover of the video, or not the video, of the textbook. So I'm looking forward to getting that printed, putting that on Amazon, and then also providing that not only through Amazon, but for our students. So anyway, that's my English journey. and finding that it has really impacted our students and really increased their motivation. And again, this is something that other schools don't do, and we're very proud of here at Greenfield Communications. So again, thank you for tuning in, and look forward to your comments later. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.